It's almost midnight and your paper will be due any minute. It's that time of year. School has started up and you feel like you're constantly busy and having work to do. Some, if not most days, get so bad that you pass out from exhaustion by the time it's over. I know many of you have had the exact same experience or have dealt with something similar in your life and your school before. You've also probably had coffee, which is probably the actual real key to academic success this school year. You can kind of forget the rest of the video. If you just have some coffee, you're probably good. I know you may be asking yourself, why should you listen to me? It's not like I have a 4.0 in college or anything, but the matter of the fact is I took myself from a very unmotivated person with a little bit above average, maybe even below average GPA, to someone who has consistently had a high GPA around 3.8, 3.9 for the past year and a half. I learned from a lot of the mistakes that most people make while they're in college, so I figure that if I make a video about it, it'd be more relatable to you than if I was just someone who had a 4.0 the entire time. If you want to learn more about my story, make sure to check out this video in the cards above that will talk to you about how minimalism saved my life. With that being said, this video applies not only to school, but to anything that involves hitting deadlines, producing quality work, juggling multiple things at once. So basically any job that has ever mattered ever. Here are the keys to being successful this academic school year. My first suggestion, that most likely is going to be the most important, is to make a framework and build out a Google Calendar or other type of calendar block schedule for the semester. As I mentioned earlier, you have a lot of different things that you're juggling when you're in school, and the best way to organize all of this is to make a block schedule and framework, allocating the proper time for each thing in order for you to be successful as you can be with all of them. During the first month of school, you should be figuring out how many hours a week you spend on doing homework, studying, as well as how many hours you have dedicated to various activities. Then after you've determined how much time everything takes up, you can do a two-step process of making your block schedule and framework. Step 1 is filling out your block schedule with your classes, when you plan to eat, your clubs, other responsibilities like work, and then the rest of the free time that you have to do homework. Before I get into step 2, I just wanted to bring up the fact that in order to be successful at anything, especially when I'm talking about school, it's important that you learn how to prioritize different things so that you can prioritize your time correctly. For example, the club that you are in should always be secondary to the slots that you have for homework. So say you go over the study/homework time and then have to work more to do what you need to, that club soccer needs to take a back seat to studying for your exam tomorrow. For me personally, I prioritize things in my life in this order, and it's worked out for me well so far. This is what my Notion task management system looks like priority-wise. With that being said, you can take this proper priority system and use it to make what I like to call a framework for your weekly school and other school-related activities. It's no secret that consistency is key, and because of that reason, I've made a framework for myself so that I do my exact same class homework on the exact same days each week. So for example, I have an HR class, I do homework for that HR class on Mondays and Tuesdays, and I break those different classes up into different sections in my framework and work on those classes at specific times each and every single week. I know what you're thinking. That's crazy. What if something comes up? Yes, that's true. Things will come up, but let's be honest. If you plan on doing homework in between your classes when you have gaps or any time before dinner, please tell me with a straight face that you are going to miss the get-together of a lifetime if you schedule your days like this. No, seriously, tell me that with a straight face. All kidding aside, things do come up during the middle of the day, and if you end up doing something that's fun with your friends during the middle of the day, that's okay. The way that the block schedule should be set up is that you have time that you are planning on spending with your friends or just hanging out or having like some sort of flex time at night, and then you can take that time that you ended up hanging out with your friends and switch it with your work time. Because if you hung out with people, you also need to get your work done. Priorities. Time's linear. It's kind of how that works. This is what my weekly framework looks like, and while I may not do it all exactly at that time, each week I get pretty close to it, and no matter what, I achieve everything that's on the page, and that's the most important part. The priority system, my framework, and block schedule are not set in stone. They are just a means to an end. The whole goal of everything in my different frameworks and block schedule and all of that is just to show me what I need to do every single week. And by the end of the week, I need to get those things done. All these things do is help me make sure that that happens by giving myself little different things that influence me to be more strict on myself. So a lot of people just kind of struggle with time management, and having these different things in place helps people like me who used to struggle with time management end up becoming disciplined and doing the different things I need to have a successful life and do the different things I want to as well. If you find that these systems aren't helping you always finish everything you need to, then it's very possible that you're going to need to look at getting some things off your plate. You may have a couple clubs or different activities that you're in that are just taking up too much time from your schoolwork. And if that's the case, you're going to have to cut back on something. And for me personally, and I think for you, the answer should never be cutting back on the amount of time that you end up spending on your homework. It's important to do a lot in school. It's important to try a lot of things, but we never want to put so much on our plate that we are not able to finish what we need to. I always say that the right balance is juggling just enough where you feel like you're getting like a day off a week, but not much more than that, and that you're able to always get things done with a little bit of stress, but not so much where it's overwhelming, because if that happens, you're going to eventually burn out and it's not going to be pretty. Life in school isn't just about getting your homework done or going to activities. However, it's really important that you incorporate breaks. More specifically, what I like to call meaningful and quality breaks. I think a great way to start this explanation of what a meaningful, intentional, or other positive word before break would be to say exactly what you probably shouldn't do. Don't work and eat or scroll through social media while you eat. That's an active break. You're still consuming content and using your mind during a break like that, and you aren't really giving yourself any time to just take a break and give your mind the time it needs to recover in between working on things. Instead of doing those things, try to eat with your friends or literally sit alone. No music, no podcasts, no audiobooks. Just sit there without consuming any content and be with yourself. Relax. That's kind of the whole point of taking a break for lunch or whatever time of the day it is and whatever meal it is. Take an actual break. Another example of a mindful break is meditating. This will calm your mind and ease your stress during the middle of your busy life. You can also take a walk without your phone, which helps you calm down, get some exercise, and also get some vitamin D as well. Something that helps you take consistent breaks is called the Pomodoro technique. For those of you that have witnessed my recent live streams, it's something that can really help you get a lot of work done. And from my experience and seeing how people have enjoyed the live streams, it's getting them a lot of work done as well. The basic premise is that you have a 25-minute timer that you set at the start of a work session on whatever you have to do, and you do it nonstop with no distractions. Then after that, you can give yourself a 5-minute break to do whatever you want to. There are many great Pomodoro timers that you can use, but my main recommendation would be the app Flora. The premise behind it is that once you are on the timer in the app, a plant is planted for you. And if you go off the app, you kill the plant. I hope for everyone's sake that you're not killing a plant, even if it's virtual. With that being said, I also want to make the point that having fun in college is important, and mainly that means being social. And I know things are difficult right now, but I wasn't social early in college, and I found that the more social I ended up being, to a certain extent, I ended up doing better in school. Make sure that you find the right balance though. Don't be a hermit staying in your room studying all day every day, but also don't go out partying every night, especially not nights before exams. Well, right now, you probably shouldn't be doing any of that, but I'm just hoping the lifespan of this video is past the current situation we're in right now, so you get my point. I know at the beginning I said block scheduling and frameworks were the most important thing. Maybe that was more of a specificity, and for that reason, I have to say that the real most important thing that you should do while you're in school is make the most of it. It's my last year of college, and I know for sure that I am not going to waste it. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting all of my videos recently. Those of you who have tuned into the live streams or have watched the replays, you guys are amazing. I did a 5-hour Pomodoro session, as you saw, and actually wrote this script during that end of that Pomodoro session, which was kind of funny. That live stream went really well. I had a lot of watch hours from it, I'm not gonna lie, and that kind of incentivizes me to keep doing it because I got a lot of homework done, I got a lot of watch hours, people were productive during it. I really can't complain. With that being said, I wanna maybe get to the point of doing something that a YouTuber I really like called Karma Medic did. He's a med school student who actually recently took a break from YouTube to focus on an exam and is now back. He has a couple 100,000 subscribers. He did a 10-hour long Pomodoro session video, and I'm really considering doing that because 5 hours, that's halfway there. And I think if I have a lot of work I need to get done, maybe I could manage it. Who knows, maybe I'm crazy enough to do it and then conveniently take the next day off. That sounds about right. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.